So today's lesson was about masking paper. Last time we used masking tape to protect our paper from paint. This time we're going to use masking paper to protect our paper from paint. So this is actually an easy technique, and this is way more flexible than tape because tape is only kind of one shape. It's a long rectangle, or maybe a square if you cut it. Nice straight sides. With masking paper, you can cut the paper pretty much into any shape you want that will protect your paper. In this case, I'm going to go with a circle. So I want you to actually cut out from a piece of paper a shape with not a lot of detail. That's the only thing about masking paper is it doesn't like small details. So if you like do telephone wires or something like that, you're going to be very disappointed with the outcome. So go ahead, you can pause me and cut out a shape. In the meantime, I'm going to take some tape, roll it. It could be Scotch tape too. Doesn't have to be masking tape. I'm going to take my shape that I want to mask my paper with, and I am going to stick that tape on there and then stick it to my paper. Now it can't move, alright, so much. You could do it without tape, but it would still be kind of hard. Now the kind of paint that I'm doing this with is acrylic paint. The thicker the paint, the easier it is to work with it. Watercolor could maybe work, but it may have raggedy edges as the water goes underneath your masking paper. So I'm going to use a relatively large brush for this. I'm going to come in, and the thing with masking paper is you cannot brush toward the paper. You have to brush away from your masking paper. So I'm going to start on the inside and brush away. So go ahead, start layering it away from your paper. Okay, and now I'm going to let that dry. I'm actually going to come back to this one that I did earlier, turn it into something. So it dries relatively fast. This side's still wet over here. You hush. What? Holy cow. Sorry, got very distracted there. One of my friends is going to have a baby. Yay! Alright, so I'm going to put my brush aside. Remember, if you're working with acrylic paint, do not let it dry on your brush. Always put it into water and wash it immediately. Alright, so I'm going to take my masking paper piece off gently. And you see, it left a circle that is perfectly like my masking paper. Now, I don't keep this. Oop. Alright, but now I've got two perfect circles here on my paper. This isn't the project. This is just a demonstration. Your project needs two pieces of paper. One you will keep whole, and the other you will cut up for your masking papers. So I'm going to come in with a pencil. Let's listen to these, a pencil. Alright, a pencil. And I want you to start on one of your papers, put the other one aside. On one of your papers, start thinking about things that are very fall-like. It cannot be tiny. If they're tiny, you're going to drive yourself mad trying to use them as masking paper. But I'm going to have kind of chunky details like leaves. I want you to think fall things. Chunky details like leaves or mushrooms or maybe like grapes. It's grape harvesting season. The scuppernongs are coming in, muscadines. Someone had a fox that they did today. Maybe like flowers like asters, goldenrod. Last of the flowers are blooming now. Notice I'm making pretty much everything kind of chunky. I don't like my grapes. I'm going to change them. Yeah, that looks more like grapes. And I'll put the stem up here. Alright, so I have these. Go ahead, take a pair of scissors. And you're going to cut out everything on this page. Alright, and you can skip me, you know, or pause me. Find where I'm not cutting things. Actually, I already have an example. Why am I doing this? Alright, so cut out your things. I do have a finished example, actually. Duh, Brittany. Alright. So here I have a circle that I used for another example, but I have my masking paper pieces that I cut out. So I used leaves. I really thought just leaves with this and oak leaves and like leaves. So what I did was I taped them to the back of my paper. Okay, back of my thing. And I taped them to a piece of white paper. This one here. And exactly like I did with the circle, I painted all the paper that was all around, okay? And used these as masking papers. Sorry, I'm going to silence this. Apparently everyone else is excited about a baby shower too. Hush. Alright, now there's obviously when you peel these away after you've painted all around them and all your background, no detail, okay? It is simply a shape. So what you're going to do after you let your paper dry and you peel off your masking papers is you're going to come back in with the details. So I'm going to think fall, I'm going to think reds and oranges and yellows. I'm going to sharpen these today. Alright, and colored pencils or crayons, come back in and you're going to add those details to the inside of your leaf. And yes, you can color it in. If you want to, very carefully paint it in if you're feeling really good about your art skills. But yeah, masking paper, way more flexible than masking tape as a masking technique. Alright, so things like steeple was. course, trace around it. So yeah, and even on your background, I can go back and add things like mushrooms. It's mushroom season, guys. Alright, some mushrooms. Almost forgot. And other things like that. So I can't wait to see what y'all do with yours. I'm going to finish up this example for in-school students too. I miss all my quarantine people dearly. I hope you're back really, really soon. Alright, can't wait to see what y'all do. I'll have a finished example for y'all too in the Google Classroom. And I'll also do my other one as another example for y'all. Maybe with a video. Okay, so that way you can, if you really want to watch me cut out all that stuff, you can. Alright, can't wait to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.